Hi. I forget. These are pieces of advice to go along with the video I just posted that would have made it too long. Um, First of all, something you can do to cook your food, even if you're purely homeless on the street. If you're able to go to the food bank every day and that food bank has meat or whatever, and you're able to cook it within a few hours, get you one of the number 10 cans of corn that's usually in the bulk aisle at Walmart. You can get them for anywhere between $3 to $5. Dump the corn. Unless you want to eat some of it, dump it. It's not what you're buying it for. Buy yourself whatever size bag of charcoal you can carry. If you're not going to do that, find twigs around the area to where you can build a small fire inside that can. Find something you can use to hold a pot above the top of that can so you have airflow coming out. Punch holes around the bottom lip on the outside edge of that can, and one or two in the very bottom. This will allow the air to come in through the bottom and come out through the top because the heat's going to pull air that way. You can cook yourself really good meals if you have a pot to put on there. You can you can do macaroni and cheese by itself. You can do macaroni and cheese with hot dogs or smoked sausage in it. You can do rice and beans in there. Make sure you buy canned beans because trying to do dry beans is going to be hard. Or if you're getting them from the food bank, same thing. Get you like 1 or 2 cans, depending on how much you eat, and some rice. Boil the rice first. Make sure it's done. Then take the pot off. You're going to pour your beans in after the rice is done and there's no water left. Mix that up. If you have seasonings that you're able to carry to make it taste better, whatever. The point is you can cook some decent meals on that can, either with 5 to 8 pieces of charcoal or thick enough twigs. Start with the ones that'll start the fire and big fat ones if you can break them down small enough. You only want them about this long, which is from my eyes to my chin. That way you have room between the fire and the pot, and then the air gap that you have in between. This method you can use almost everywhere except if you're in the city on the street. If you have a park nearby, you can use that method with or without, I would say without their grills. If you have to, use their grills if they have them. Problem with that is you'll go through a whole bag of charcoal. Use the can, because you can cook a whole meal in that pot, and if need be, throw the can away. Or put a piece of chain through it to where you can hang it from your backpack. The grate that you're going to put on top, whatever you're using to hold your pot, clean that, put it in your backpack. Don't buy these propane or butane camping outfits. It's dangerous, especially if you live in a hot place like Phoenix, Arizona, because you're out in the heat all day, and you're not supposed to store those in the heat. Even if you're in the shade, they could explode. Use the can. 5 to 8 pieces of charcoal should be plenty to cook your food. And then when you're done, dump the ashes. Make sure you dump them on the ground and you pour water or whatever you can. If you're in a private place, pee on it. Make sure that fire is out. Anything you can do to keep the police from getting pissed off is your best friend. That is the best tip I can give you for cooking if you do not have a place to cook. As I told you in the video, look for a food bank that will give homeless people food every day. That way you don't have to try to get a shitload of food. Do not take more than you're going to eat in that one day. I realize the travel back and forth sucks, but everything about being homeless in the streets sucks. Step number 2, or tip number 2, advice that I have for you. If you have a friend that you can trust to watch your stuff, whatever money you have, if you do not have a job, have your friend watch your stuff. Go to Planet Fitness or another gym that has a $10 a month, fitness plan. Because if you have a friend where you can take a shower, you're not going to be able to go there every day. But you can go to Planet Fitness. Get yourself cleaned up. As clean of clothes as you can possibly do. And go get you a job. It is possible to get a job without a place to live. I've done it many times over the years. The situation that I was in made it to where that happened. And it was not my choice. But every single time I ended up homeless, I was able to find a job, even if I didn't have one when I lost my place to live. Find a job, get a bank account immediately. Do not carry money on you. The minute you got that job, make sure you're able to get there every single day. If you cannot get that kind of job, get you a day labor job. Still get a bank account. You're going to have to find a place to cash your check. Go to Walgreens or Circle K, depending on what kind of online bank you go through. Chime, you can go to Circle K and put your money in that bank account. Do not carry more than, don't even carry $5 on you. Because if you're sleeping in the streets, you already have to worry about what you have disappearing while you're asleep. If you have anything that points to you got money, they could kill you even for $5. These drug addicts don't give a shit. And nowadays it's even worse because the police hardly do anything to drug addicts at all, depending on the state you're in, thanks to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Make sure that you're able to take a bath and go to work. Every dime you get, except for what you need to buy food. Do not eat at a restaurant. Buy a can of beans, rice, whatever. And that number 10 can, the biggest coffee can sized can that you can get. That way you'll save money. You can cook a full meal on that can, doing what I said. Save your money. Buy you a car from a private individual. Be careful of what you get, but don't count on it lasting you forever. You're going to buy the cheapest car you can afford. If you can get an SUV or a van, by all means, do so. But if you're buying a car, buy the cheapest running car you can that's not burning oil and not burning a shit ton of gas. Then you can lock your stuff in your trunk while you go take a shower. Because when you go to that gym, you cannot take your stuff with you even after you've got your membership. The only things you can carry with you is a little bag with your towel, washcloth, body wash, and a change of clothes. Go to the gym, take your shower, go to bed or whatever you're doing. Get up in the morning, go to work. Save your money. Once you've gotten past buying the car, you'll have an easier time of the other steps that I mentioned in my first video. Now, the next piece of advice that I can give you is not anything to do with this. Things you need to know about being homeless. Phoenix is the worst to be homeless in. Even though it's hot most of the year. They hate homeless. Okay? They treat drug addicts better than anybody. Don't become a drug addict so they'll treat you this way or that way. Keep in mind, these people that claim they want to help, they don't actually want to help you. They don't want to help anybody, really. They're not doing it for you. They're doing it so that their conscience feels better, because they actually hate homeless people. And the bad part is, priority-wise, the drug addict is the top of the food chain of what they consider homeless, even though they're the bottom of the food chain when it comes to destructiveness and how bad they will destroy wherever they're at. They still see you as being lower than that person. These people that are helping you out, here in Phoenix especially, this is what they offer the drug addict. They will give them food. They will give them money. They will give them drinks. They will give them housing. They will give them extra money to do things on. Even though that every tangible item they can sell, they will to get drugs, because they believe they're helping these people. They don't give a shit about you at all if you're a working person that does not do drugs or alcohol. They hate you. They have this opinion that you made bad choices, and that's why you're homeless. And they had that before COVID. The most they'll offer you, especially in Phoenix, oh, the shelters down there. And I don't know if you've ever stayed in a shelter or even looked at the outside of one. You don't want to be there. People die in there from murder over little shit. That's what you probably don't hear if you've never been homeless. Do not stay in a shelter. The next thing they tell you, oh, get food stamps. Well, if you're working, you can't get food stamps. If you're homeless and you don't have a job, by all means, get food stamps. Tell them you're homeless. You'll get them immediately, within a day. But don't count on those food stamps to get you out of the streets. Your first big paycheck, they're going to take them away from you. But they will get you through if you're wise on how you buy until you get that job and get a paycheck. The next thing they might tell you, oh, the food bank is over there. That's all they will do to help you. The organizations they have that's so-called help you as a homeless person is if you lost your ID, they will help you get your ID. You can get government insurance, so you have medical. Do not count on government medical as a survival thing. It'll pull you out of an emergency. But let me show you what the government actually cares about. It's the money they get from you. Even though you're getting government insurance and it's not coming out of your pocket, they get money for this. 2002, I ended up homeless. I got an infection through underneath all of my teeth in my mouth. I went to the dentist. All they cover for an adult is extractions. They pulled all of my teeth all at once. Guess where that went? The insurance didn't actually get it. They didn't cover it. It went on my credit report. That was just my teeth. All 32 teeth. One day. Pulled them all at once. I had to go for a year without dentures. If you're lucky, they'll help you get dentures. But to guarantee that they'll fit, very, very little. They will not help you get glasses. They will not do much of anything for you. That medical, if you get sick, I don't know what they'll give you for medication. I've never been sick like that. If you have to go to the emergency room, but I can't guarantee how much they'll cover. Different states, different everything. All I can say is that's what they give you as a homeless person that's not a drug addict. They cover next to nothing. You're shit out of luck. Because the only people they care about are drug addicts. Same thing comes with Social Security. Drug addicts only got to snap their fingers and they pretty much got Social Security for disability. If you're unable to work because of physical problems, count on, in Arizona, 2 to 5 years of being turned down, if not longer, because they don't give a shit about you. You're not a drug addict. And, you know, anything you could possibly think of when it comes to needing help. If you are lucky enough to be a person that is not needing disability and you can work, they make it as hard as possible for you to be clean enough, it can be done, to get a job, because they don't give a flying fuck about you, especially in Arizona. These frickin' pricks here that we have are the worst. They've been trying to make it against the law to be homeless for longer than COVID, and they're close. Their plan that they want to do is they want to open a big ass shelter that's going to be just as dangerous as the one in town, and they want to ship all of you out to that shelter. If you don't have transportation, how the hell are you going to get into town to do anything you got to do? That's their idea of helping you. They don't give a shit if you can get a job. They don't want you here. All they care about is the next richest person that might be here, might move here, if they can get rid of you, even though they put you here. And yes, your state government and the federal government, since COVID, obviously if you're homeless or about to be homeless, you know why you're there. But many states have been trying to get rid of homeless people so they can get richer people to move there. They don't give a flying fuck about you. All they care about are drug addicts, which will be in that place along with you once it's built. And again, in the one that's in town that you don't want to go to because people die in there overnight. For the same reason, it's worse if that happens, because you're out in the middle of the desert. Even if they catch that person killing you, you getting to the hospital is much longer. If you have an allergic reaction, you're dead. Because if you don't have an EpiPen for what you're allergic to, they don't. It doesn't matter what. The point is, they do not give a flying rat's ass about you. Neither does our federal government. And I can prove that. Watch every video that's available for every presidential candidate during their campaign. They never once mentioned helping the poor. Not even Donald Trump. Kamala Harris. I'm going to help the middle class. That helps nobody. Because no matter what, there's always going to be a middle class. They passed this rumor around saying that, oh, there's only going to be the poor and the rich. That's impossible. That is absolutely impossible. Because if you look at it since COVID, those that were middle class back in the 80s, middle class, you had maybe, if you were lucky, a $25,000 a year to a $75,000 a year job. Those people are now the poor and homeless. The millionaires that we all thought were so rich in the 80s are now the new middle class. And that's why I say there's always going to be a middle class. They'll just have more money, numbers-wise, than they had back in the 80s. Point being, they don't care about you. The best thing you can do, get cleaned up, get a job, follow that other video I did, plus the next video, and you will be better off for it. You will not be on the streets. You will not be, living on a bus bench, which, by the way, Phoenix just made against the law. So now you've got no choice but to sleep on the fucking sidewalk or in the dirt, in the mud. They don't care. That's all I have to say for the few things that I can give you advice on. The most important one is the one I just told you about. Your city and state and government do not give a shit about you now that they made you homeless. And let me explain something. They all think none of you have an education. I can tell you right now, I've met in my time of being homeless about 50 people that have anywhere between 2 to 6 master's degrees, and they ended up homeless. So don't believe that anything. Take the first job that comes along, even if it's minimum wage, because while you're out here, even minimum wage is worth something if you do it right. I had a $16 an hour job for a year and a half. Took me a year and a half to pay off that truck. A couple months after I got that truck, I paid off this trailer in one payment of $800. And that's when I lost the job. But during that time, I followed most of my steps. When I got this trailer, when I got this trailer, I already had, just in case flipping the camera didn't work, all of my solar equipment, that swamp cooler, that fan, the sleeping bag, the electric blanket. That's it. Let me flip this back. That's what I had with the truck. Once I got the trailer, I was able to take the standing refrigerator that I bought during Black Friday and return it because I couldn't run it. It's taken me since January of this year, and it is October now, to get the refrigerator freezer that I have because I was not working. I got lucky and got an item that was worth $300. And then after I bought the couple of things I bought with that, I sold the not the broken solar panels. You obviously saw those. I sold one of the functioning solar panels and my rack for another $150, and that got me the rest of what I needed to be where I'm at right now. Obviously, I'm not done, but I'm a year and a half ahead of you. When it comes to getting your job, depending on what your pay is and how you budget, is how long it will take you to get. But you won't have as many problems as I had. That last job I had, I was very much abused in a lot of ways. There was several months where they cut me down to 12 hours a week or less. I was making the minimum of $100 a week. That's how fucked up that job was. You're going to have an easier time if you follow my steps. I will give you more things that you can do that I'm still going to have to do tomorrow. You guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoy the video. Like it, share it, subscribe, whatever you can do. If you notice, I'm not trying to ask for help. I'm not trying to get people to give me money. I want subscribers because I'm only 50 users away from being able to have full use of YouTube where I can do live videos. So please, if this video and the other video help you, please subscribe. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.